Yeah, 16 people will start. Now, let us understand this particular slide, that there is a reason for this. This question is generally been asked, okay, as to what is the procedure for issuance of shares in the primary market. If this condition is been, if this question has been asked, the answer for this particular question is in front of you, right? Now, all this has to be clearly mentioned. Now, let us start slowly as to understand how this particular procedure or how this particular process starts. I think there are 20 people. Shall we start with the procedure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, understand one thing. Whenever companies need money, they need money for a specific reason. And when they need this particular money for a specific reason, the management of the company or the CEO of the company is totally focused on that particular activity or on that particular job. Now, he does not have much idea as to how, what is the procedure for issuing of shares, who are the people to be contacted, what help should be taken, what if people don't come forward and take my shares, what will happen to the money, from where will I get money. All these questions definitely trouble the company who is issuing the shares. So what the companies do, they companies appoint some person, okay, we call that particular person as a lead manager. A lead manager is a person who will take the responsibility on behalf of the issuing company, that you do your business of manufacturing chairs or tables or garments. As far as money matter is concerned, you leave the things to us. We will take care of all the activities, okay. We will do all the legal work. We will appoint all the people under me. I will do all the formalities and make sure that your shares are issued to the general public. Also, the money that is collected from the general public is being transferred to your account. Okay, so this entire activity, end-to-end, service is lent by some of the institutions, and these institutions are generally, we call them as merchant banks. Okay, and one of the merchant banks takes a lead into this particular action, and he is called as a lead manager. Clear? Now, I think Prayag sir will discuss with you the things or the aspects related to merchant banking. But one of the activities of merchant banking is issuing of shares on behalf of the company. Now, what happens? First thing is, whenever a company wants to issue shares, the company knows that they are not expert in issuing shares, to keep up a follow-up, to go through the legal procedures, to run to SEBI office 10 times. They are not experts in that. So what do? They will appoint a lead manager, and this particular lead manager will take the whole responsibility of issuing shares. Now, once a lead manager has been appointed, the company gives all the right to him, and the company goes and does what it's supposed to do, that is manufacturing of chairs or tables or garments or whatever. Now, this lead manager is the responsible person to issue shares to the people and also collect money from on behalf of the people and transfer the money to the companies. Now, what he does, he feels that as a lead manager, I cannot do all the things. What will he do? He will do a subcontracting. He will appoint 4 more people under him. Now, who are those 4 more people is what we need to understand. The first person that he appoints is, we call it as a registrar to the issue. That means there should be a registrar to the issue. Okay. Next, he appoints legal advisors. We need lawyers. Okay. We need lawyers. We need chartered accountants. Okay. We need other people who are going to advise us on legal aspects, and that is the reason legal advisors have been appointed. Next, for collection of money, for transferring of money from one place to another place, they need the help of banks. So banker has been appointed, right? So banker to the issue has been appointed. And last one is, they need a person who will take the responsibility of an underwriter. Now, what is an underwriter? Underwriter is a person who takes the responsibility or who gives a commitment to the company that if you are issuing 1,000 shares, or if you are issuing 100 shares, or let us say if you are issuing 10,000 shares, and if only 7,000 shares have been taken by the people, 3,000 shares, nobody has come forward to take those particular shares. As an underwriter, I will take the responsibility that any shares which are not been taken or which are not been purchased by the people, I will take that particular share. Clear? So I will take over those particular shares. In turn, I will give that money to you. So we need an underwriter. In other words, an underwrite is something like an insurance. No, I take an insurance that something goes wrong with me, there is always an insurance. Similarly, when companies issue shares, they always take a person called as an underwriter who takes the responsibility of, you know, purchasing all those shares or underwriting all those shares, in turn give money to the company. So these are the four main people who have been appointed under the lead manager. So the lead manager is the main contact person for the company. Under the lead manager, there are four more people who have been appointed. You know, each one has a specific job, and each one will not indulge into other person's activity. They will do their job. Okay. Now, so these four people are entitled to do their job. They will carry on their job. In the meantime, what does the lead manager do? The lead manager, go to the second point, he makes a filing of the offer document with SEBI and stock exchanges. Okay, that means he will, the lead manager will go and make a memorandum of understanding, okay, between the company and the lead manager. That means the lead manager will tell the company that on your behalf I am going to issue the shares, and these are my fees, right? By the way, lead managers charge a very heavy fee, and that is the reason they give you all these services. So an MOU is signed, that is memorandum of understanding is signed between the lead manager and the issuer. This copy has to reach SEBI. SEBI should know, right, that lead manager is not deceiving the company, or the company is not being deceived by the lead manager. So one copy of that particular offer document or that MOU is been given to the SEBI, and one copy is given to the stock exchanges where the company wants to issue its shares or list its shares. So that is the first document that has been given. Next document is given is the roles and responsibilities of a lead manager. What is his roles and what is his responsibilities? Likewise, what are the roles and responsibilities of these four people who are appointed under the lead manager? That means what are the roles and responsibilities of the registrar, the banker, the legal advisors, and the underwriters? What is their roles and responsibilities? Okay, are been clearly defined, and that document also has to go to SEBI and the stock markets. Next is due diligence certificate. That means what are you supposed to do and what are you not supposed to do, and when are you supposed to do and when are you not supposed to do. All this is called as due diligence. Okay, so due diligence certificate has been issued. That copy is also given to SEBI. Undertaking from the promoters. That means promoters of the company know that shares have been issued, and there is a underwriting or there is a undertaking got from them. So that copy is also given to SEBI. Next, who are the promoters of that company? Their details is been given to the company, and any other document which is relevant, that document is also been given to the company. In fact, SEBI will also ask the lead manager that on whose behalf you are issuing shares, has that company ever been prosecuted by the court? Has that company indulged into any fraudulent activities? Are there any court cases pending against that particular company? All these things are and these documents have to be submitted to SEBI. So all these things are done by SEBI. Okay. Next, once SEBI gets this particular document, they will verify each and every word in that particular document, and this takes a minimum of 21 days. Okay, so the offer document is made available to the public after 21 days. So once SEBI is satisfied with all the conditions, then the offer document is made available to the public for a period of minimum 21 days. Okay, I request all of you to mute your microphones, please. Okay, next. Once this has been done, there is a pre-issue advertisement. People should be aware, right? People should know that there is a company who wants to issue shares, right? So few days back, I think 2 weeks back, there was a company who had issued shares. The name of that company was called as Happy Mobile. I hope you know that. Okay, there is a company called as Happy Mobile who had issued advertisement saying that we are technology driven company, we have this, we have that, and we want money for expansion purpose, and this is the amount of money that we need, so please come and invest your money in our company. So this advertisement has to be made, and whenever this ad has to be made, it has to follow all the details that have been laid down by SEBI as far as advertising of issue markets are concerned, right? Or advertising of what are the guidelines that are given by SEBI as far as advertisements are concerned for any primary issue. Okay. Next, dispatch of issue materials. Now, very simple. I am sitting in Belgaum. Some of you are sitting in Goa. Some of you are sitting in some other place. and you want to subscribe for that particular IPO, that is, if you want to subscribe for that particular share. Now, sitting in Belgaum, how can you do it? You need to have some local contact points, right? So that you can get adequate information, you can get that particular form here. So, what happens is they appoint all agents in all these places. This is done by the lead manager again. The lead manager will appoint local agents here who will get all the material and will get all the support from the companies as far as issue of shares is concerned. So that is what we call as the next point. Here it is called as dispatch of issue materials. That means application form, prospectus of that particular company, all this is available. This is called issue material. This is available locally. Today, it is not available locally. You have to download it from the website and fill in the form and again upload it. Okay, that is a new procedure. So technically speaking, this process has been eliminated. Okay. Next, there is a no complaint certificate that has to be made available. That means people don't have any complaints about that company. People don't have any objection with respect to that particular company. So this takes another 21 days of time. Okay. Then we have agreement with the depositors. Now, who is a depositor? What does a depositor do? We'll come to it later. But in short, I will just tell you. Depositor is a person who will transfer shares in your account electronically. What do? They collect physical shares from the company. They convert those physical shares into electronic shares, and these electronic shares are being transferred to your account, okay, in the form of it has been electronically transferred. This job is done by a company called as depositories. In India, we have two depositories. One is NSDL and CDSL. So we'll come to that. Don't worry about all those things. So there is an agreement with the depositories saying that if people subscribe to our share, if people subscribe to our offer and they accept our offer, shares have to be issued to their account. So they ask the depository, will you issue shares on behalf of the company to these individual retail investors? If the depository says yes, you have to pay those charges to the depositories. The depository will take care of all those things. Okay. So there is an agreement with the depository that is going to happen. Next, there is an approval from the stock exchange. In which stock exchange you want to issue your shares? Do you want to issue in Bombay Stock Exchange? Do you want to issue them in National Stock Exchange? Or do you want to issue them in regional stock exchanges? Like we have the Chennai Stock Exchange, we have the Ahmedabad Stock Exchange, we have the New Delhi Stock Exchange, we have the Bangalore Stock Exchange. So these are called as regional stock exchanges. So do you want to list your shares with regional stock exchanges, or do you want to list your shares with the National Stock Exchange and the Bombay Stock Exchange? These are the two main exchanges, right? So you need to have approval from those respective stock exchanges. Next, we need to allocate collection centers in the major cities. That means we have 4 metro cities now. In fact, we have 5 now, 5 or 6 in fact metro cities. So in all those metro cities, we need to have collection centers. We need to appoint collection agents, and finally, we also need to appoint a compliance officer. A compliance officer is going to just overview whether this lead manager is doing his activity properly or no. Generally, a compliance officer is one person nominated from SEBI. Okay, so he takes care of all the things, whether things are happening properly or no. He just keeps a watch on that. So this is what this particular slide talks about. I know many of you have not understood. Still, I'm asking you, are there any doubts in understanding this? Because I want to show you a flow chart. Okay, once you see the flow chart, things will be much more clear. Any doubts in this?
Sir, now that e-filing is there, no sir? That so that e-filing.
There's a problem with audio.
So e-filing will be there, no sir, about it?
Yes, e-filing has started recently. Okay, but
yes sir. So you told that we have to take the Xerox and we have to upload it. So
no, that procedure is also eliminated now because everything is happening online. So you have to just enter your details and submit it. All these things will be eliminated.
yes sir, yes sir.
Okay. Yeah, anyone, anything else? Okay. Now, what What is the main function of primary market? Is basically origination. That means it is the first point of origin for shares. Then there is an underwriting function. I told you what is an underwriter. So there is an underwriting function, and there is also a distribution function. That means shares should be distributed to the general people. Again, I said, who are the people? We have lead managers, registrars, underwriters. So whatever is there in the previous slide, all these are also there. This slide talks about the entire procedure. The next slide talks about specifically about the functions of primary market, and here it specifically talks about who are the parties to the issue, or who are the people who are involved in this particular activity. So we have lead managers, we have registrars, underwriters, bankers, and advertising agents also. Yeah. Now, one by one, we have to see all these. So who is the regulator? You need to take permission from which companies? You need to take any company who wants to issue shares should get permission from the company law board, because you are a registered company, right? So you need to take permission from the company law board, that is a regulator. You need to take permission from RBI. You need to take permission from SEBI, and you also need to take permission from Department of Economic Affairs, Department of Company Affairs. This comes under the Ministry of Commerce. Okay, so you need to take all this approval. Now, it is not possible practically to take approval from all these people. What do? You appoint one person, okay, and he will do everything for you. Only thing is you have to keep money ready, because this person to do all these activities will definitely require money, and he charges you heavily. So these are the main parties who are involved as far as primary market is concerned. So we have the regulators. Next, we have the stock exchanges. Okay, so there are two main stock exchanges in India. One is Bombay Stock Exchange and one is National Stock Exchange. By the way, when I say National Stock Exchange, both the exchanges are located in New Delhi only. In Mumbai only. Okay, their branches might be in New Delhi, in Chennai, in other places, but these exchanges are located in Mumbai itself, whether it is BSE or whether it is NSE. Along with that, we have some regional exchanges also. So we are not going to focus here. We are going to focus more on this particular part, right? Next, as I said, we have depositories. Now, depositories, it is an institution that dematerializes. Please understand this particular word. Dematerializes, that means converting physical shares into electronic shares. That means from material shares to dematerialized shares. Okay, this work is done by two depositories in India. One is NSDL and second is CDSL. Okay, National Securities and Depository Limited, Central Securities Depository Limited. So these are two companies which operate in India. Next, we have brokers. There are estimated we have 10,000 brokers in India who are members of stock exchange. So we have brokers also who are a party to the exchange. So we have brokers, we have depositors, we have stock exchanges, and we have also the regulators. Apart from that, we also have foreign institutional investors. That means people from outside country, if they want to invest their money into India, okay, they will be called as FIIs, foreign institutional investors. To become an FII, you have to take permission from SEBI. Right now, we have more than 600 FIIs that are operating in India. Okay. Next, we have merchant banks. Okay, basically a lead manager who are specialized to manage all this particular activity. Next, we have custodians. Okay, there's a new word called as custodians. Custodian is a person who controls the shares. That means, if I have to explain to you, what do you mean by the word custody? You might have heard the word of police custody, right? What do you mean by the word police custody? What do you mean by
taking in?
Custody means under their control, under somebody else's control, right? That is what we call as custody. Clear? So here, shares from the company are taken and kept at a very, very safe position, and the person who is responsible for keeping these shares very, very safe, that particular person, we call it as a custodian. Okay, so his job is very simple: to keep the custody of shares, to keep a record of how many shares are coming in, to keep a record of how many shares are going out, also to keep a record of which companies, to keep a track of how much is the dividend being issued. All these things are done by the custodian itself. Okay, then we have underwriters, we have registrars, and definitely we have bankers to the issue, who are going to act as collection agents as far as money is concerned. So these are people who are involved. Again, from your exam point of view, the question usually comes, elaborate on the parties involved in primary market. This is a common question which has been asked. It says, elaborate the parties involved in primary market. So we have regulators, stock exchanges, depositors, brokers, FIIs, merchant bankers, custodians, registrars, underwriters, and bankers to the issue. So all these people are involved as far as security markets are concerned. Clear? Any doubts in this? Any doubts here, please?
No, sir.
So now, what we have done, I'll just go back. We have seen the entire process of how shares have been issued. Next, we have seen what are the primary functions, what are the functions of the primary market, what are the who are the people who are involved. This is just a summary of it. In detail, who are the people who are involved? I have given you the details of it and what do they do. Okay, or who are they? I have just mentioned it in these two slides. Once we are done with this, there are different ways by which shares can be issued to the public. Okay, there are 5 main methods by which shares can be issued to the public. The first method we call it as public issue. So this is the first very simple method or very common method which has been used by companies to issue shares to the public, and that is what we call as IPO, initial public offering. Okay, then we have something called as the brought out deal or offer for sale. Next one is private placement, and last one is then we have the rights issue, and last one is the book building concept. So we'll study only primary issue today, that is we'll study only the IPO, that is initial public offering today, because understanding initial public offering itself will take a long time for us to understand. The remaining part we'll see it in the later classes. Clear? So we'll see only what do you mean by initial public offering. Okay. Now this is the process of how initial public offering happens. Don't get worried about it. It's a very simple process. I'll explain to you what happens in a initial public offering. Okay. Now, what happens here is a company will decide that it wants to raise shares, and it wants to raise shares only by the way of initial public offering. What is initial public offering? Initial public offering means the company does not have any knowledge about how shares have been issued. They appoint a person, which is a lead manager, and they specifically tell the lead manager to issue shares through a mechanism called as initial public offering. That means the entire process of meeting people, getting approvals, all this thing has to be done by the lead manager itself, which is a time consuming affair, and that is the reason this IPO, initial public offering, is a time consuming affair. At the same time, it's a very costly affair, but still why people choose it is because the reach of this particular offer is to the large mass of people, and that is the reason most of the companies, even though it is time consuming, even though it is costly, still they take this particular route because they are able to reach a huge mass of people, and that is where they earn their profits. Clear? So you have to specifically tell the lead manager in which way you want to issue the shares, or generally it so happens that the lead manager will advise you that for your type of a company or for your level of company, which method of issuing shares is better. So generally the lead manager will suggest you. So here I'm just going to talk about that the lead manager has suggested that IPO is a better option for you, and let us see how shares have been issued through IPO. Okay. So the first condition is the company decides that it wants to issue shares, and the mechanism in which they want to issue shares is through a IPO, that is initial public offering. Okay. Next, once they decide for it, there is an appointment of BRLM. All this is nothing but they appoint bankers to the issue, regulators to the issue, registrars to the issue, legal advisors to the issue, and underwriters to the issue. So all these are people who are appointed under the lead manager. Next, as I said, due diligence has been done by all these entities, saying that each one of us will try to maintain our highest possible ethical standards, will show integrity in our work, and will not interfere into others' activity. So this is a due diligence that each one has to sign and give it to SEBI. Next, a draft prospectus has been prepared. In the draft prospectus, all the details of the company are mentioned, why the company is going to issue shares, where will the money be utilized, how does the company plan to recover that particular money invested. All the details have been clearly mentioned in the draft prospectus. So this draft prospectus is been prepared by the lead manager and is submitted to SEBI and stock exchanges for their approval. Okay. Now, up to this point, the first process is over. Can you see a red dotted line here? The first red dotted box.
Yes, sir.
So the first process gets completed. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is the first initial phase of planning for a issue. Okay, so you are planned for an issue. You have submitted the documents with SEBI. SEBI will take 21 days to check, scan every word that you have written, and if they find everything is okay, then you enter into the next phase. That is this particular phase. So you enter phase number 6 and phase number 7. So what happens in phase number 6? What happens is phase number 6 and 7, you have to do the marketing of that particular issue. People should know about that particular company. People should know that at what price shares have been issued. All these things has to be properly done. So a marketing activity has been created, and all these marketing activities are done. They are been posted. There is a continuous ad that flashes out on all televisions and on all news channels, also on social media channels, that a particular company is planning to issue shares, and they offer you they give you this particular offer by which you have to accept their offer and send money to these particular companies. Okay. Next, in the meantime, when you are doing these pre-marketing activities, SEBI, if they do not have any objection, with your prospectus, they will give you a clearance. Also, you will receive a clearance from ROC. ROC stands for Register of Companies. So a clearance has been obtained under step number 7 from SEBI as well as stock exchanges and from ROC, that there is no problem with your draft prospectus. You can go and issue the draft prospectus to the people. Then what happened? Can you see another red color dotted line here? Another box that has come up. So process number 6 and 7 is completed here. So 1 to 5 is initial phase. 6 and 7 is the marketing stage. From 9, 8 to 12, this is the issue activity. Then what happens? The issue has been launched. They tell you in the ad that this particular issue is available from 21st September to 24th September. Okay. The application form is available here. You have please go contact them. So this is called an open issue date, and then we have a closure issue date. Okay. And after this is done, there is an allotment that is happening, and after allotment, the listing takes place, and after listing, the transfer of funds takes place. Now, what is point number 10? Point number 10 means you have given the application, you have given the money, you have given the application, right? Now, what do? They take your application, they see how much of money you have deposited in the bank, they match it. Whether your application amount and your money that you have deposited in that particular account, whether it tallies. If it tallies, that means your application is accepted. If there is a difference in the amount in the form that you have filled and the amount that you have mentioned in the form and the amount of money that you have deposited in the bank, if there is a difference in that, they will reject your application. So that is what we call as allotment is concerned. So if everything is fine, they will see fine. Okay, that candidate X wants 100 shares of this particular company, and accordingly he has deposited money worth 100 shares. So the application is considered. You can allocate 100 shares to that. That is what we call as allocation of securities. Many times it might so happen that you have paid the money, you have filled the form, but you still don't get the shares. In such cases, whatever money that you have deposited will come back to you after 15-20 days. Don't worry about that money. The money will come back to you. So point number 10 talks about the allotment activities. Then we have listing. Now what do you mean by listing? Listing means only few people are getting the shares. Majority of the shares are still not available for a major share of the public. And how will the shares be available? Only if they are listed in the stock exchange. So there's a listing procedure that happens in the stock exchange, and because of listing, trading is being initiated, and because of the trade, the company gets more money, right? So listing activity is done, and once the listing activity has been done, whatever money that has been collected by the bank is being transferred to the original company who wants to issue shares, right? So all this activity is called, pre-issue activity. So the first box is called the pre-issue activity. Next is called the marketing activity, and third is called the actual issuance activity. So this is how an IPO process takes. From the point it starts to the point it ends, it almost takes 3 months. It almost takes 3 months. So this is a time consuming affair. It is a very costly affair, but still most of the companies prefer this particular activity because this particular offer is made to each and every individual of this particular country and each and every corner of this particular country. And that is the reason it has a huge reach. And because of the reach, more people will invest money into this particular segment. And that is the reason this particular approach is been still considered. Any doubts in this particular point or in this particular flow chart? Please listen. This is the initial phase or the pre-planning phase. This is a marketing phase, and this is the execution phase of an IPO. Okay. So any doubts in this particular slide, please let me know. I can explain. I'm going to stop here, but don't leave the session before I take the attendance. I'm just taking a pause for you to clarify any doubts. Any doubts in this? Yeah, I think there is one doubt. Somebody has raised a hand. Rashmi said no. Okay, no doubts. Fine. Now, whatever these 12 points that are there, whatever 12 points that you can see here on this particular slide, the same points are available here. So it is not a separate slide. It is a continuation of the slide. Only this is in a box type format, or this is in a flow process format. This is in the regular text format. Priti, can you remove that sign? Yeah. So this is a regular format that is applicable. Clear? I'm going to stop here because the next part is even more detailed. Whenever a prospectus is being prepared, what should go into the prospectus? What are the parts of the prospectus? All are mentioned here. Okay. So we have to go in details of all these things. We'll see it later, not now. But I'll stop my class here itself. Up to this point, if there are no doubts, okay, then we'll stop the class. In my next class, I will directly start with the contents of the prospectus. I will show you how the prospectus actually looks like. I will send you a PDF of a prospectus. I think I have the prospectus of VRL Logistics, and I'll just see if I have any prospectus of any other company also. I'll send you that prospectus. There's no need for you to read through it. If it is better if you read through it, but no, it's a 400 pages book that has been issued, or a 400 pages document that has been issued. It has each and every information about the company. You name any information about that company, that information is available. Right from general information of the company, how was the capital formation, capital structure of the company, what are the terms of the present issue. That means how are you going to raise money, whether it is through IPO, whether it is through any other method, how much money you are going to raise, okay, where this money is going to be used. All these things will be available in this particular part. Okay, particulars of the issue, that means who are the people who are involved. That means name of the lead managers, name of the lenders, name of the issuers, name of the underwriters. All these things are mentioned. Details of the industry in which they are operating, scope of business, management of the company, any under major projects. Okay, all these things are mentioned here. Most important thing, the financials of the entire company are mentioned. Okay, what are the risks? That means tomorrow if the money is been given to this company and the company fails, what will happen then? So risk factors are also been mentioned here. All these things we have to understand in detail. This is part 1 of the prospectus. Part 2 of the prospectus talks about statutory information. So all these things we have to understand. Clear? Any doubts up to this particular point? Of course, I'm not going to cover up in this particular lecture. Okay, I'm going to stop only at this point of time. So up to this point, any doubts, please let me know.
No, sir.
If not, I'll just take the attendance. Just a minute. Please don't leave.